Number 10, we have a public hearing for the franchise agreement with Verizon. I approve the publication for Richard Keene of the Eagle newspapers that notification was indeed published, and proof of postage from Town Clerk Tracy M. Cosselman, and notice posted on the bulletin board at the proper time. Do we have someone here from Verizon that would give us a presentation? Would you come forward, please?
A few.
Do you have your name and who you represent?
Certainly, I'm Tom McCarroll. I'm with Verizon. And Supervisor Jasinski and members of the town board, thank you for the opportunity to speak at tonight's hearing. Again, my name is Tom McCarroll, and I'm Verizon's Vice President for Government and External Affairs for New York State. I've been working for Verizon for 28 years. I started right here in central New York. It's a place I still hold very dear, so it's really an honor to be here in front of you tonight. The town of Cicero is poised to become one of the first in central New York region to open the doors to cable choice and competition and to Fios TV. We commend you for holding this hearing and bringing these benefits to the residents of Cicero. Customers and critics alike love Fios TV. They use terms like razor sharp and stunning to describe our picture quality. It's a great service that really has changed the game in this industry. For the first time, the customer is in control of the cable marketplace. Now, for less than $50 a month, customers can get 348 digital channels, about 100 of which are high definitions, and thousands of movies and shows on demand. And this all comes from a company with a 100-year track record of giving back to this community. The economic impact to this region from Verizon's decision to build a state-of-the-art fiber optic network here is very significant. It's significant as well for the many talented union employees of Verizon who see growth and innovation as part of their future in central New York. I'd like to just bring to the board's attention that Verizon has invested $1.3 billion alone last year in New York to upgrade its network and create new services. That network is backed by more than 800 dedicated employees who live and work right here in Onondaga County, and their volunteer efforts are supported by nearly $1 million in the Verizon Foundation donations to Onondaga County nonprofits, and that's 2008 alone. We're going to be here for many years to come, delivering the services and the technology that so many town residents must have to be prepared to work and compete in the 21st century economy. On behalf of my colleagues who helped negotiate this agreement, Denise Reedy and Jeremy Schofer, we thank both you and the town's attorney, Heather Coles, for bringing us to this important point. We appreciate the hard work that went into this agreement and cannot wait to begin delivering Fios TV to the town of Cicero. And at this point, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Denise Reedy, who can answer any questions and talk a little bit more about the agreement. Thank you.
My name is Denise Reedy. I'm a franchising manager with Verizon, and I want to echo Mr. McCarroll's remarks about how Verizon is very much looking forward to bringing a choice of cable providers to the town of Cicero. And if you have any questions about the service or the agreement, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions?
We don't know what the agreement is.
Denise, maybe you could explain a little bit about what type of service Verizon already provides, what you'd like to provide, and why there's a need for a franchise agreement.
In response to Heather's question, this is a multiple phase project. The first phase of the project, which you've probably seen over the past couple of years, was the upgrade of our telecommunications network. And this is the placement of fiber, and this is fiber all the way to the home. This is state-of-the-art. There's no other provider that is bringing fiber all the way to the home, and that's what we're doing now. That's phase one. That's going to allow people who want to upgrade to fiber-based services, either the internet or voice-based services, to, at their option, migrate over. The second phase of that project is the introduction of video. And what we're going to do is we're going to place equipment in our central offices that will enable us to put a video signal over that fiber to the home. And in order to provide the video signal to the home, we need a franchise agreement from the town. And that's why we're here today. And as Tom mentioned, we're making significant investment not only in the upgrade of the fiber plant, but also in the equipment required to provide video to the home.
Is there any other communities in central New York that have a similar agreement?
They're all pretty much similar. We have over 100 agreements throughout the state of New York. This is the early stages of the approval process within central New York. We do have an agreement with the town of Clay, and we had presented it to North Syracuse, and now we're presenting to the town of Cicero.
Have the other ones been approved?
Clay has been approved, and North Syracuse is in the approval process right now.
Any other questions?
So you're providing competition with Time Warner?
That's correct. Time Warner has a non-exclusive agreement, and ours is non-exclusive as well. So we'll be competing against each other. So customers can either get video, if they want video service, they can buy from Time Warner, they can buy from us, they can go to DirecTV. So that it's one more option for them to choose from on how they want to get their video services.
Okay.
I'd also just like to note too that Verizon has asked that you defer action this evening until a later meeting, as there's some issues that they want to see resolved with Clay's agreement before you act on yours.
That's section 2D.
You got it.
I was going to ask that question, what the status is on that.
Sure.
What's section 2D?
Section 2D is a section that's in the current Time Warner cable franchise agreements for most municipalities in this area, and it requires that municipalities insert language into any other cable franchise agreements requiring additional cable franchise providers to indemnify Time Warner, for damage done to Time Warner's cables, equipment, etc. It's something that the town of Clay didn't feel it should need to insert in the Verizon agreement. We agree with that position. The Village of North Syracuse has taken the same position. I believe that the issue will be resolved within the town of Clay between Verizon and Time Warner, as it was the first go around with the issue. And so when it's resolved, we can come back to you with how it was resolved and determine how you can move forward. But it's probably better just to delay action until we have an answer on
We will
that.
just conduct a public hearing then, and then just table it?
Correct. And Denise, if I misspoke or you want to clarify anything, please feel free.
No, I think you got it.
Thank you.
Any other questions before we open the public hearing? Thank you. Open the public hearing at this time.
I'd like to.
Solicitors, comments, who are in favor of the Verizon project? That's okay.
Flip a coin.
I haven't read the agreement, and first of all, I am all for competition. I've been a Time Warner customer for many years, and I don't mind looking at the competition. What will the town get out of this?
The town's allowed to accept anywhere between 0 and 5% in franchise fees, and franchise fees will be based on gross revenue coming into the cable franchise company. The town of Cicero right now is poised to accept 3% from Verizon, as that's what you're currently accepting from Time Warner, and it needs to be what's known as a level playing field. At the time your Time Warner agreement expires, which will be next year, Verizon has agreed to pay whatever you may want to receive from Time Warner. So if you decide that you'd like to move up to 5% for both, you could do that. If you'd like to decrease to 2%, you could do that. It'll be up for discussion, negotiation at that time.
One of the things that I would like the town board to consider is that so many people are using wireless devices now, and it's increasingly more important for them to be able to check their email when they're on the road, when they're taking care of business, go on the internet, find out information. If I come to the town hall and I try to use my PDA, I cannot check my email, I cannot get on the internet, because of course you have a secured wireless network, and that's the way it should be. So my suggestion is that you write into this agreement and a future agreement with Time Warner, however you would do it, is that these companies set up some hotspots. For instance, a wireless network, totally divorced from the town's network, here at the town hall. Perhaps one at the Senior Citizen Center. There might be other spots in town that you would want to consider. It'd just be a nice little service for those of us that are wired and those of us that will become wired in the future. Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak in favor? Would you come forward, please? Give us your name.